I'll give you one of these, sir.
You stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Now I'm good.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, we might as well just jump right into this. We can do minutes and stuff, that kind of stuff in between. So we will jump right into elections, right? Is that what we're looking at? I'll just start working our way down the list. Want to do that way? Okay. I'm not sure what these are, but that's fine.
Oh, those are just the previous, what we spent.
Yeah, we have it here. So, last year, did we have any special elections?
Yeah, we had the presidential, it was huge.
Well, we didn't have any additional.
Oh, no.
So we just had two.
Three.
So we had in fiscal 17 we had the May one and then the November one, and that was it, right?
So it would have been.
Oh, we had a June one.
Yeah, November of 16 and then May and June of 17.
May and June.
Yeah, because the state had something.
Right, because we did ours
and
then
the
school and the state had one, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we'll have this year too. May, June, and November.
Well, we're not doing May. Oh well, that's if the school.
The school is definitely doing May.
Yeah. Okay. Right now.
Yeah, they are. I got an email.
Well, until they don't get
May
the funding.
what? May 8th?
Until we don't get the funding from the
Second
school.
Tuesday in May.
I read that in the paper that it's May 8th.
It is.
Right. Like I said, until they don't get the funding, and then they gotta push it out. Yeah, Tuesday, May 8th, district budget validation referendum. Yep. And May 3rd is the meeting in Noble High School gym.
Yes. Yep.
So you have that on your
Yes,
calendar.
I do. Yes, I do. Yeah. I won't miss that.
I wish they would change that. I sent him an email and asked him to do that.
Well, again, the state.
The open part, not the election. Because they have 30 days they could do that within, once they have that budget hearing, the one at Noble High School where you decide the number, then you have to have the referendum vote within 30 days.
Right.
And I did send him an email hoping he would change that because it doesn't give you time for absentees because you can't return your absentee ballot until after that meeting.
Right.
So if you mail it, the odds are it might not get here.
Yep. Nope, you're very good.
Unfortunately, but anyway.
Clerks in Berwick and North Berwick also emailed him requesting changes.
So
It's just, we changed it in, at Marshwood because, of that reason.
Yep.
Because
No,
we had to
makes-
do all these
yeah,
different
makes-
ballots
that
and
makes
it's
perfect
ridiculous.
sense.
But anyway, okay.
So, and the reason I asked you all that is because of wages. Because you're going down to 5,600.
Yeah, just figure on what we spent the last ones because, of course, the November election was huge. We had to have a whole lot of extra people.
And this goes back to your point about the true cost for wages. So what is this wage? What is this
who's
wage?
in this
What is this
one
wage
number?
This is figured on what we spent for the last election.
But who is in this number?
Who is in this number?
Are you in this number?
No. Oh, no.
Are you and Rebecca in this number?
No, because that's just regular payroll.
Right, but we've been having a conversation that really you still pay the same amount, but that amount
Well,
should
the
be coming
overtime
out
is the thing that I think, if anything, should go in here. The overtime, because the overtime is for the election. It's all to do with the election.
But even your hours is the election, so it's even though, if we didn't have the election, you'd be here, it is election, and so, you know, any hours that you, my feeling, I think her feeling as well, any hours that you put in for election should be under this budget. It means it comes out of, means the general government budget goes down by a little bit because that portion of you comes out. But if you think about it, for example, you know, when Jen wears all these different hats, you know, she's got, you know, her janitorial stuff comes out of general government, her planning stuff comes out of planning,
Right.
it all comes out of wherever she's working, you know, for that. And so that way you have a true cost rather than just lumping it in. So
I can refigure that for you then.
so does that make you
Oh,
understand?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So it would be you and Rebecca, and then obviously the overtime that's on top of that. Would all go into this number.
That's gonna be a bigger
You
number.
know, I know you probably did it based on previous numbers, but you might look at who do you hire, what do you pay. If you can, you know, even do like a maybe an easy spreadsheet. You don't have to necessarily put names on it, but you have 4 helpers, 5 helpers, 6 helpers at X dollars an hour, roughly this.
Okay, so you want it broken out, okay.
Well, just that way we understand, because then you've got you and Rebecca, and then you have all your helpers, right? I don't know how you classify them, but I'm just saying.
The warden and the ballot clerks and the registrar.
And you know how long they're there, roughly.
Yeah,
So you know roughly what you're paying them.
Yeah.
So you ought to be able, because they're paid a flat rate per hour, right?
Yeah, it's either 9 or 11.
Well, it won't be 9 anymore because
It's
minimum
11.
wages.
I think it's
went up.
11.
They were
Yeah.
paid 11 when I
Okay.
left, so
Okay.
unless you took it away from them.
Alright.
They were paid.
Does that make sense though?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's important to know, and the reason I asked because to break it out is because your wages and Rebecca's wages that we add here, we want to pull that out of the general government one. So we're not going up in anything. It's just
You're just moving it.
we're just reapportioning it from general government to elections, which is where it really belongs. And then payroll taxes will be whatever it is, because that's just
Calculation.
that's just a calculation. Yep. All right. Travel expenses, I'm just kind of going by the budget report as well. Travel expenses, what is,
I just put that for mileage for, like, we have to travel to the caucus, Democratic and Republican caucus, and to the SAD 60 budget meeting like that, so there'd be a little bit of reimbursement for mileage. So that's just a kind of an estimate.
so they haven't used any since 15?
But I put in for mileage when I went to the SAD 60 meeting.
So that was probably done under general government then? Would be, when you guess that?
Probably, I guess, yeah.
Right.
Because is there a line for travel expenses? Oh, yeah, there
Yeah.
is right there, okay.
It was budgeted at 40
Yeah.
for 17. Currently, this year, right now, there's nothing. So they didn't budget anything last year.
Yeah, there's nothing in there. So,
But no, I don't disagree with that. It's just, I would just try to clearly, when you do travel expenses, I would clearly say that it's for elections. So probably if you just put down travel, he might not have caught that it was on election.
Yeah, I'll make sure that he knows, yeah.
So that's probably why it was. So you think 35 is enough? I mean, they did do 40 back in 17.
yeah.
Yeah, 35.
All right. So you're gonna redo that number. And then office supplies. So this is. So what are we normally spending for office supplies?
Well, it's supplies, it's really not office supplies, I don't think.
Orson.
It's the ballots, I believe.
Yeah, it's, the supplies are gonna include ballots, programming the little, flash drives for the youth machines, voter registration cards, meals for the election workers, moderator, when we have to hire a moderator. Last year I bought a flag, signs, things like that.
So 1251 was for ballots. Is that correct?
That would be, we'll have one election.
Yeah, another 770 for the June one, although election systems.
Yeah, ESNS, yeah.
And does ESS, does that vary?
Yeah. Cause it
That-
depends on how many ballots you have and how many you have to code and all that.
So the balance is based on the referendum questions, right? Is that us?
Per
Yeah.
page,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
How of us, and we have 3 ballots?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the 1110, you say for a town program of express, what's that?
Oh, the express vote is like the machine for disabled voters. And so
Have we had that in the past?
we haven't programmed for the town in the past, but I think you guys suggested that we do that going forward. So I called them and got the pricing, and that's what it would be.
That's how much it would be to just do that for the town
For
one?
for three elections.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
for 3 elections, yeah.
And what that is,
What is that?
it's the AVS, well, it's not, it's like express vote, I think they call it now, but it's so if someone was hearing or couldn't see, and it's a machine that you can use, anybody can use it, you don't have to,
Is that the one that was in the corner? or
Yes.
whatever that you
Yes.
had? Okay.
but see, you have to program it the state will program it for their own elections, but
Yep.
by law, you don't have to do it for municipal. Federally, you have to do it for all state elections, but
Right.
I think we could get in trouble if, say, somebody wanted to use it and we didn't have it programmed, so, yeah, that's a good idea
So
to do
then
it.
that's for 3, but we only need to do 2, because one's gonna be, or does it still have to be programmed for our? Because we only have 2, probably only 2 referendum, 2.
Well, but she doesn't know that. I mean,
Right.
she's gonna have to, you don't, it's like ballots, I
Right,
mean, you
right.
have to kind of plan that you might have, you have to say for 3 elections whether or not
Yeah,
you
okay,
have them or
right.
not,
Well,
because
we
you
have at
don't
least
know.
3, because we have the school.
Yeah,
and
but
we have
three
the town
won't
state.
be for us, because this is the only cost, because you're saying federal picks it up.
The state does, the state won't charge us when there's a state one,
Oh, and actually, we could charge the school back for the school election.
absolutely.
Right, that's
Yeah,
my
we
point,
will.
so
We'll
that's
charge
what I'm
the
saying,
school- we'll charge the school back.
so the town is only gonna have a June and a November probably.
Right,
So
that's
that's only
right,
the
that's
2,
right, that's right.
And
we
the
should charge-
November is gonna be a federal, so I don't know how that
Well, you guys will
works.
probably have a couple questions on November, though.
Probably, so that has to, you have to pay
Yeah,
to
do
have
do
that
at least 2.
programmed in, okay,
Yeah.
alright,
Yeah.
alright, that's fine. And so that 6,600 includes that number.
Yes, sir.
So you roughly did what we spent last year, the 5,500 and added 1,100 on there roughly is what you.
Yeah.
Now, why in 16 do we spend 11,500?
I believe Mandy bought, is that when Mandy bought the new booths that are falling apart?
So those are only 2 years old then basically that we're trying to replace? Because I have
They're 2
this,
years old.
I have this here.
Yeah.
So this is, so we can talk about this as well. So that's, all right. The maintenance agreement is 589, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right.
Matter of fact, you just recently got a bill for that.
And what is that for? That's for the
The
machine?
machines, yeah.
The postage?
That's for absentee ballots that we have to mail out.
Do we mail those out of here with our
Yeah.
machine now?
Yeah, yeah, we do.
So do you wanna, all the other departments, we haven't been keeping that separate.
I can code the machine for election.
Do you wanna,
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I mean, if everyone else is just doing.
I mean, like
Postage.
codes, I'm just doing postage on,
Yeah.
under general government, I'm not doing
Yeah.
a separate line item for.
Yeah, so we don't probably have to do that.
I just don't, I mean, I don't mind if, how do you do the meter as far as paying for it? And so while, yes, you could code it, but how does he get the bill? You follow what I'm saying?
I don't know how that works, I haven't seen that.
Because you have to, on a card or something, download funds, right? You have to give them funds,
Right.
whatever, they pull it out of our account.
Yep, they come right up, yeah.
So that's just a block, but you don't know who that's gonna be for.
But he can get a breakout though of who, if we put in a code for elections, he can get a breakout, he'll know exactly what went through for elections, if you want us to set it up like that.
I just don't know whether that, do we wanna, I guess what I'm asking is, do we wanna track that? Is there a reason that we would wanna track that? Laura, do you know?
I never did because we had stamps here and I would go to the post office, so we never did. I mean, you can, but if she did, she'd have to, like she said, program it.
Right.
So you would know how much it is for ballots when you send them out.
I mean, cause it is what it is, I mean, we have to send the ballots out, it's not
You
like,
do.
it's not like, you know.
Yeah, you do.
It's, so it's not like all of a sudden if the postage there is too high, we can really cut it
And
back.
postage
We
is
can't.
going up, so.
No, but I'm just saying, it's
Yeah.
not like we can say, well, we need to find a way to save, well,
There's
you
no
have,
way to say.
you have to send the ballots out,
Yeah,
so
you
it is,
do
you
have to send.
so.
That's like plowing the roads. You gotta
So-
do it.
Yeah, so why don't we zero that out and put that under general government,
Okay.
okay? And we just need to remember to add that 270 into the general government budget for that. And then okay, so your 5461 here is what this is, correct?
Yeah,
Or is that another set?
nope, that's the same thing.
Okay. Alright. So, do you have any other questions before we get to that?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright.
All my papers here, all my stuff.
What, make the case why I wanna replace 2-year-old voting booths or 2.5-year-old voting booths and spend more money on new ones.
Okay, well, the new ones I think are gonna be sturdy and reliable. The ones we have are falling apart. I mean, I was picking up pieces of them all over the place. I got a few reasons here. I think the biggest thing is the new ones will allow seated voting for like long ballots when we have 3 pages, for elderly people. The ones that we have are difficult to take down and put up. They take up a whole lot of space. I think we could save money on wages because it takes less time to put them up and take them down. Take up a lot less space in the closet with limited space that we have over there for our election stuff. And I think these ones are a hazard because, I mean, I almost broke my hand on just the way that they don't go together well. I think that they're...
How well do these things hold up?
These things, they show pictures of kids jumping on them. And they're used nationwide, a lot of
Haven't we had
places.
these before though?
What?
Have we had this kind before?
The kind, what, that kind?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Someone's gonna get their hand pinched, I think, in these, because they really are starting to fall apart, they're inferior.
I think they're stronger than the ones we got now as far as when they fold in, when you unfold them.
And there's no need for curtains anymore?
You know, if you look like on TV, you'll see different people voting, people don't use curtains anymore.
Go ahead. I know you're just dying to ask a question. Mary.
It's really not a question. When I moved here and went to vote for the first time, I cracked up laughing. But, because I came from Boston, the things that we voted now, they're just not sturdy and they're not private. I mean, it feels like it's gonna tip over or fall down, you know,
Yeah,
they're
not
just
sturdy.
really outdated.
Actually, they're only 2 years old.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
They're outdated.
Because ours are only 2 years old,
Massachusetts.
in this makes, the paperwork that came with it, is there any kind of a lifetime, like a, not a lifetime
Like a
of course,
warranty?
but a lifetime expectancy that they warranty, that if you had a I mean, not saying that it's not an inferior product, but maybe it's just that unit is inferior and they would refund a portion of the, I mean, is it like an all or nothing, you buy it, you own it kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, my guess is knowing, quite frankly, they are a design failure. So the way they are designed, they're designed to break. I'm just, well, it's very, very, if you don't put them together and take them apart correctly,
Right,
you'll break them.
you break.
And I think that was probably the problem.
And that's half the problem, but they're not, it's not like, and they're not easy to put together, so it's very easy to make a mistake, and so that happens. And
Well,
so,
I saw the girls struggling with them, so that last election, I watched you guys trying to get them down. So, I mean, I don't have a problem, I'm just wondering if there was paperwork that came with it, maybe if somebody could just give it a once over and see if there was.
Can't hurt to look.
Yeah,
I think,
that's
I
what
was
I'm
thinking
saying.
another thing too, if there was another town that had, a site that was set up where they could permanently kind of stick them against a wall, where they didn't have to take them down and put them up, maybe we could sell them to somebody for a few bucks.
We have those in Elliott, and we don't have any problems with
These
those.
same ones you do?
Absolutely. So,
Do you have a maintenance department who puts them up and
Yes,
takes them
we
down
do.
for you? Yeah.
but still, I mean, they're sturdy, they're in good I mean, I just,
That's what I'm saying, maybe it's just that particular set, you know, and maybe.
or maybe when they got them, did they not watch the film? I don't know if there was a film or paperwork, I can't remember, but.
That was before me.
I mean, worth looking at the paperwork, just to see if there was something, you know.
Right.
Or does Elliot wanna buy some used voting?
so this is this so you have this is for 6, so we currently have 2, correct?
Well, we don't, those are on loan. They let us borrow, them, cause I told them, if I can buy them, we won't be able till July until we get the next budget.
Right.
And he said, well, I'll send you them, you can use them until then, and then if you buy them, fine, if you don't, just send them back, so I saved the boxes.
Okay.
And he'll pay for the return shipping. I clarified that.
So we didn't buy those 2 already.
No, those are on loan, yeah.
Right.
The one we did buy, the little single one for voting here at the office that I put out here,
Right.
but that's all, we did
Okay.
buy that one.
Right. And you said you won't get your money until July, right?
That's what I told the guy.
So that means we can use them for June regardless.
Oh, yeah?
As long as he's not watching the video. And this is the price per, does that go up if you're only getting 1 or 2?
You know, I don't know, that, he gave me a quote, which I think I attached to that.
I mean, I'm just wondering, is this something that we do slowly over time instead of buying all 6 now?
Because I'm required to have, I've gotta have 23 booths.
Right.
Based on.
How many do you have right now?
21, I think.
How much?
21. Yeah, so we need to buy some anyway.
How many of the 5s do you have? Aren't those in 5s, the ones you have? The long ones, they come in 5s, right?
How do they break out? Do they break out into groups of 4, don't they?
4.
4,
Yeah.
okay, so
4.
how many
Yeah.
sets do you have of those?
Well, there must be 5. 5 sets? So I'm sure.
No, it's not 4. Those sets is 2.
No, I don't know,
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah, the
The-
set that we currently have is 2. They open up in 2s.
They do.
Yeah, every unit is 2.
2. It's
And you
one
keep
side.
putting
One side
together.
uses.
So
yes, so there's 5 on each side or 4 on each
there's
side?
either 20 or 22. There's either 20 or 22 of those units.
And then, because this last one, we didn't put them all up because we had those 2 other
We had
units,
those two, right.
which is 4 each.
So that was 8. Yeah.
So you have 2 quads then?
Yes, we have 2
Okay.
quads in house.
So that's 8.
That on loan, right.
And I will say, we had a lot of good feedback from voters at the last election on it. People really liked him. Especially elderly people or people who can't stand for a long time, you know.
What are you thinking, Laura?
You don't wanna know what I'm thinking. I'd rather not say anything, but I'm not in favor of it. Because these are 2 years old.
I hear you.
I mean, the ones I had were 40 years old and I duct taped them and everything else. I'm just saying, these, I don't know. I mean, maybe we need to look and see but 2 years old, that's not good. And we spent over $5,000 before. And now we're gonna, 2 years later, I mean, I can't in good conscience agree with that. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you.
So it's up to you two.
I like them.
Well, if you wanna go with it, you guys go ahead. But what are we gonna do with the old ones?
Well, so what I'm thinking is that we could get two probably in this year's budget. And then we could then do either 2 or 4 in next year's budget. So we're spreading it out a little bit. But that's if we do it at all.
And are we gonna train the people that are gonna put these ones up so they don't get broken too, or, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, these I think they're almost bulletproof as far
Are there
as
cheaper ones than that? Cause aren't these, what, 900 a set or 800 and?
$869, yep.
Wow, that's a lot. But, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I like to do is I like to use a football term and punt this one to the budget committee and get more input from them. It may be the same, it may be different, but it's
Gonna go to them anyways.
It's gonna go to them anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm indifferent. I wouldn't do all of them in 1 year. I think we can squeeze 2 out of this year's budget. So I'd do it that way. If I was gonna do it, but
You got 2 now?
and we have 2 in the house anyways.
But they're just on loan.
They're on
We don't
loan.
own
Yeah,
them.
well, you'd replace those 2.
Or we own them. I mean, again.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but
That's where that's where it ends.
well, this year's, and then it all depends on whether that's, because again, we could, if we have it towards the end of this year, if we have it in the budget, we could buy those 2. And we're not appropriating any new money. At least that way
And
you
it
have,
is still,
that way you have those 2, you have a place where somebody can sit, because they can sit at those, so that solves that problem.
it really does.
But that's, but I don't know whether, like I said, I'd be open to hear what the budget committee says, so, on that, so. And like I said, then, whether we do these 2 or whatever, we wouldn't make a decision until towards the end of the
we
year.
don't have to do it
anyway.
till, yeah,
And we wouldn't, because we have to see how much money we got left in the budget,
okay.
so, so is that, everything else you guys okay with on
Yep.
this?
So I'll redo this for you.
So yeah, just
breaking
the
out.
wages,
Yep.
the wages side, should it be all we need, so we have a better number for
Okay.
that,
All right, I'll get that to you right away.
right? Cool,
Yep,
thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna give this back to you then. Well, it's just been sitting here, so that way I'll let you lose it rather than me.
Okay.
All right, Deborah, come on down. Isn't that something like that? Isn't that an old show like
Switch
that?
seats.
Alrighty, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Okay, so I had a lot of people that were coming here with me today. Lieutenant Frank McGuire was coming from the fire department, and he got called into his other job because people are sick with the flu. The Corlises, Christine and Dan, were supposed to come here with me today. They're both sick with the flu and told me they would follow up with an email to you. Whether it's already there or not, I don't know. But several other people. Chief was coming, and Chief fell and threw his back out and has been having a difficult day. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about was a senior program. Very much like Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels wants to see a prototype up and running before they'll sponsor you for like federal dollars, which may wind up happening later once things get moving if we go in that direction. My issue is this. I've sat and watched several elections, and every year we go and we see the Meet the Candidates night, and every year, and every one of you has done it, everybody stands up and says, we need more programs for our seniors. And then we have no more programs for our seniors. That's it. We have a school-sponsored lunch once a month, which I'm hearing great things about. Everybody that, and only a few go, but they're enjoying it. There are people that would like to go. They don't have transportation, or they have transportation issues at that time, but they think it sounds like a lot of fun interacting with the kids, and I promote that 100%, working with the kids, because seniors love it. But it came out on your agenda as senior lunches, and that's not exactly what I'm here about.
Hey, but let me just, you say that, and I take this a little bit personally because you asked me to back off to let you run with this. So that's why I haven't pursued senior program.
Oh yeah, I wasn't speaking.
So, well,
no.
you said I haven't done it because
No,
it was on my agenda.
I didn't say.
All right. I just
First thing, this is not an attack on Chip.
No,
Let
it's not
me
an attack
do
on
my
Chip.
little
You
thing,
said
and you'll
that the
hear
selectmen
what.
have asked, you said the selectmen have asked to do senior programs and they haven't done it. And all I'm saying is
Nothing.
you're absolutely
And
correct.
I didn't say Chip. I said everyone.
Exactly. And my
like
point
4
is
years.
that yes, I did say that, and you specifically asked me to back off to let you run with it, and so I have. So it's not because
Yeah, and I'm ready now.
It's not because I haven't decided to do it.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm ready now, and that's what I'm trying to talk to you about today. So I'll say it right to the video. This was not an attack on Chip, and I have talked to Chip about this, and I have talked to Laura about it actually too, just briefly. So at any rate, what we were proposing to do was a Lebanon mobile meals. It cannot be Meals on Wheels. Right now, Meals on Wheels is not sponsoring a program that does anything in Lebanon. I think last year we discovered that at the budget committee when we were giving them money in the outside services every year, and it was either 1 or 3, and I couldn't find the paper that they were delivering in Lebanon. 1 or 3. So it started coming more and more to light during the storms of October, when not only myself, but several other volunteers were discovering seniors that either A, had no means to get fuel for their generator, and we were running around like crazy trying to beg, borrow, and steal money to put fuel in their generators or lend them generators. And then as it started to be snowing, we started to see people that are not plowed, that because I mean some of these driveways, they're as long as my driveway up to my barn, and I know what I pay for that every time. It's $100 every storm to have somebody come, and while they may have that $100, if they spend that $100, they don't have food, and that's the honest to God truth of it. They also have they're in there with oxygen, and that costs them money, and even though they are seniors on Social Security, they still have to pay money towards their medical expenses, their oxygen, their medications. And I never realized the extent of it, to be honest, because I never stopped to think of somebody else's budget. So I started talking to my mom, who runs a very similar program over in her little place over there in Vermont. And she was telling me how they operate it. Some of it would fit here, some of it wouldn't. And I've started to reach out to people. My biggest problem was finding a kitchen that I could get in, because you can't cook it in your house unless you have somebody come in, and then you've got to have the sinks. It's very, very specific because you're feeding other people. And I did wind up talking to the Grange, to Dan and Christine, who then took it to their people. They actually had David Harriman was kind of working on something, but they weren't sure if they were going to try to get people there or get out to people. But David was working on something that the Grange was going to do as a project. And the Grange did wind up saying, if you're going to do this, like, we'll let you use the kitchen. They did tell me they may ask me for some funding, like towards the propane to for the stoves, which would be fine. That propane's not all that expensive. Those numbers haven't been worked out, but the kitchen they would let us use for free, and they also would be volunteering with me to help cook. So what's been suggested to me for beginning would be to start with 20, and those would be either people that I would help identify and get them to Jenny, or that Jenny could speak to people that she's got GA that are seniors that may appreciate that, and to do 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday, you would do a meal for Monday and a meal for Tuesday. Wednesday would be a meal for Wednesday and a meal for Thursday. And then Friday, you would deliver 3 meals, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that just goes right in the refrigerator, and it should be able to be heated up with a microwave. Seniors could also opt, for example, some of them go with their family on a Friday, and they would only need 2 for the weekend. And they can just tell you that, and you can adjust that. Also, part of that would be having kind of eyes on. I would never myself say that I was qualified to judge somebody else's situation. That's not my deal. And I would never ask any of my volunteers to do that. However, if somebody was saying to them, like, I just haven't been feeling good lately, we could also at that time say, can we send one of the EMTs just to give you a blood pressure check and talk to you a little bit, see how you're feeling? So I reached out to Chief and also to Captain Harmon, and they were both right on board with that. They were very specific that they did not want anybody doing like any kind of reporting. I don't want to give somebody a free meal to go look in their house and tell on them. I just want to be there to, if they want to say, I don't feel good, I want to offer them, let us have one of the EMTs come down and check you out. They won't come in the ambulance. They'll come in either the C1 vehicle or the squad vehicle. They'll talk to you for a few minutes. They'll check you out, and then they'll go away. So the other thing is, for one of our driveways has a huge rock in the middle of it. If you don't know in a snow situation that you have to go around to the right side, but there's a swamp right there that you're going to sink in with that ambulance, you're going to go around to the left side and you're going to get hung up on that rock every time. So there are things like that that should be being identified to the EMS, and we could help with that. And maybe they can't go and remove that rock, but at least then they'll know there is clearance for the ambulance to get around to the right. Or one of the driveways that we go down, as a matter of fact, Chip's wife and brother-in-law came and plowed it for me. And there's no way, I wound up calling Chief to come out and take a look at it. There's no way any fire apparatus or ambulance is going to fit down there if they can find it. And I'm telling you that Chief drove back and forth past me while I sat in the driveway watching him. And then he called me and I said, oh yeah, I'm right here. And I said, let me pull out to the road, Oh yeah, and he thought he was pulling in somebody's backyard, but it's really a big, long driveway. And then there are trees that come down around. There's no way the ambulance is getting down there. No way. And so those kind of things need to be identified. What then do we do? I don't know, because you can't send a public person to go in there and trim the trees. I do understand that. But at that point, maybe we can start identifying this, and Chief can put together some volunteers, or Captain Harmon can put together some volunteers and get down there and take care of that driveway. So those are the kind of things that we would be looking for our volunteers to identify. How easy would it be to get in there? How many people are in there? If there are medical issues, perhaps then Captain Harmon or Chief could go down and just talk to them, see what their needs are, and at least be aware, so that if there's a call to that address, they're aware that there are issues. So I started talking to people about it. Some of the suggestions would be to just do it on my own, start a little thing and just do it volunteer, maybe. My thing is I'd have to do that myself. And there's a reason for that. I cannot afford even blanket insurance to cover volunteers going on somebody else's property. And my mom said her town covers all of that. They operate under the town. The other thing is that I would have to start a 501c3 because I can't have those donations and that kind of stuff coming in on my income. It's just not going to happen for me. So as far as a private entity, I cannot do that. I can't. So I'm coming to the town just at this time for a kind of a heads up, start thinking about some ideas. I have seniors that are saying to me now, when are you going to start? When are you going to start? When are you going to start? I also have seniors who don't get out much who are saying to me, I can come one day a week and come and help you cook or help you. And they're really interested in being part of that. They can't get out 5 days a week, but they'd like to come one day a week and have a little socialization. Also, one of my hesitations with Meals on Wheels is that they have very strict requirements of go there, deliver the meal, and get out. You've got 5 minutes, basically, which is why my mother's group got away from Meals on Wheels and went town. Because some people, that's their only socialization in a week is who comes to see them. And that's important to me. It bothers me. It bothers me, the people that I've met and how isolated that they feel. And one of the hugest things with them that I hear all the time, and it breaks my heart, is they keep saying, like, what if I fell? And how long would it be before somebody found me? And that's like, I can't even imagine it. It just breaks my heart. So I have a good volunteer base already standing up. Some of them are behind me, Mary and Corinna and Cindy, the Corlises, some of the Grange folks, and John Kinney has offered to come down and do a few things with me. And so, I mean, there are quite a few people that they can't commit to a 5-day-a-week thing, but if this is 3 days a week and they can come help me one day, I'm on it. You come and help me. So I'm coming to the board because I'm asking for the board to think about town participation rather than being an outside relief agency and asking you to give me a check once a year to cover it. I've done some, whereas Suzette White is trying with all her might to get me to understand couponing, and I did good today. I say 42%, but I'm not there yet. Mary's doing better at it than I did. Mary saved a huge amount on her grocery bill, but we're learning couponing because we want to be able to ask people to bring their extra coupons and leave them here for us so that we can shop with coupons and get those meals down. My mother's group right now is basing their meals on $1.87 a piece. So that would be $1.87 a person. If we went with 20, we could probably bring that down a little because you cook a turkey, you can feed more than one person. But they're basing their meals off $1.87 a piece, and that includes the styrofoam tray and the film wrap to go over the top of it. And I'd like to start with 20. I think 20 is a good start, but I think there's more than that. I can probably already fill that 20. So I don't want it to be based on income. it's important to me not to base it on income, because some seniors that are housebound might have enough money, but maybe they can't get out to the grocery store, or maybe they can't stand long enough to cook. I want it to be based on a community giving to their elderly, and a visit and a hello and here's your meal and a hug and see you in a couple of days. I think that's more important than saying you make $32 over the gross amount. So that's what I'd like to leave with you guys today, that I do have the support of other agencies. I went and spoke at the VFW in Sanford just the other day, and the VFW has also pledged to support with a donation. I did ask them, rather than giving a one lump sum check donation, if they would consider giving a monthly donation every month, break it into monthly donations, because that way we don't have this big amount of money and then all of a sudden at the end of the year we can't finish up with it. So they said that they would be willing to do that, and they also sponsored me for my polar jump, which made me happy. But yeah, they're willing to give some money. I would imagine that probably once I get in to see the Patriot Riders and the AMVETs, I'll probably get some donations, because a lot of these people are veterans or widows or spouses of veterans, and so I think I probably can do that. But I'd also like for you guys to maybe schedule a meeting with the VNA people, just because we're going to have people that have dietary restrictions, and I really need some guidance on nutrition, and maybe see if we can. I know that they said that they wouldn't fund Meals on Wheels because it is a federal program, but Meals on Wheels won't just give you startup. They want to see you working. And if that's the way the board decides to go later, maybe I think you have to be working at it 6 months. And if the board decides later to go that route, I'm very willing to follow that recommendation. But for now, it's probably not a possibility. But for now, maybe the VNA with that fund would give us a little bit of money towards the purchase of food or the purchase of trays. But definitely, I really want them to give us some guidance on nutrition and dietary restrictions, what different things are, because I don't want to just guess at that. That's somebody's health, and I don't want to just guess at that. So, I mean, it's a little bit of work. I got some good people, and like I said, there would have been more here. They all said that they were coming, and then everybody's sick. So, I do have some really good dedicated people behind me and some other organizations behind me on this. And I think, I just think it's a good thing. And I think it's about time that we all just paid a little attention. So I'd like to give kudos to the school. I think they're doing a great job. The seniors that are going are enjoying the heck out of it. And I'd like to be able to, maybe in the future, I mean, since it's through the school, maybe the school can even send a bus around to pick up some of these seniors that don't drive or can't get out and get them to that, because that intergenerational stuff is huge. So maybe we could even, as that program got going, maybe we could help with that. One of the things that another program suggested is that we offer them, the meals are free, but we also tell them if they have the funds, because some of them do, they could give a donation, and they suggested $3 per meal as a donation if they can, if they want to. So that's also considering. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or any insight into maybe possibly other things that you would like to see happen with that I could look into and come back to you with later.
It sounds good, I think.
Ma'am, I have a question. Paul, since you're the eldest select person here, you've been in town the longest. Do you think the people, the seniors in town need something like this?
I don't know.
Do you know any seniors?
Yeah, I know some seniors and.
I mean, do you know of any seniors in town that are in a situation where they don't get meals? Don't. Wow.
Well, they don't say.
Yeah, that's the thing
That's
with
the thing.
seniors.
Right.
Yeah.
Seniors are very
Old people
proud
are
and-
independent, you know.
And they're very proud and
Well,
That's why I really don't want to base it on income, because I don't want anybody labeled as being poor and having to get it. I want everybody to be available to it, you know, and
Right.
and I'm very, very strong on not income basing it.
Well, my mother-in-law, who's 98, and you met her, to live in Meals on Wheels for ages in this area. That was quite a few years ago. And she just was surprised at how many of them had no food at all.
Is it age-based?
It would be age based at 62 or over, and the only other thing besides that is if there's a disability involved in their housebound, obviously we would absolutely bring to them. You know, that would that's not a problem. You know, I don't care if you're 35 years old, if you're stuck in the house and your family has to go work or something, we'd be glad to bring you a meal. So age at 62 and above, or some kind of issue where you're housebound or you have trouble standing, because you know, being out there and doing this volunteer work around the town. I mean, I've met some people that are in their 50s they're retired and legitimately disabled, and they have a hard time. I watch them sitting at their sink washing the dishes, and they won't even let you help, you know. But they can't stand up and do the dishes. They're sitting washing the dishes, and I know, even if it was once a week, a visit and a meal and a hi, how are you, and is there anything I can do to help you? I think would be huge to some of these people.
So what is your timeline?
Well, originally I really wanted to start it in February. It was when I originally started thinking about this in October during all those storms and seeing the people that I was seeing. I really wanted to start in February. However, information gathering has been.
You know, you're saying 20. You might have 2 in one house.
Correct.
I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, I would like to start. I'd like to identify 20 people that I can get these meals to, and then if the following week, if Laura comes in and says, "I know you have 20, but I found 3 more that really need it," let's work on it. Let's get it done. I mean, if I got to go cut some more coupons, or if I got to send Mary to the store one more time, or, you know, if Corinna's got 4 people, or she's delivering to 4 people and I've got to make it 6 that day, let's do it. Let's get it done. People really start to have to work together, you know.
Do you need a license for the cooking part and the food part? Do you have to get a food license or anything?
As far as I have found, okay, and I am still working on that part of it, and I would never start without being able to tell you that confidently. As far as I found, you do not have to, because you are not a food vendor. If you are a food vendor, you need to have a license. However, you do have to have the health inspector has to look at your kitchen and say that it's fit to prepare food for other people. So I would have to ask Mark to come down and take a look, make sure the water temperature is right and all the other things. I would never do that without being prepared.
Now you said you talked about your mother's that she has to have insurance. What is the insurance? What does that cover for?
So her town has like a blanket, and I'm not sure, but I think I've heard it mentioned here when your fellow is here. It's like a blanket, just a blanket liability. If you're volunteering for the town, if you're volunteering in your own automobile and you do something, get yourself in a wreck, that's, you know, it's your automobile insurance and stuff. But if you're on somebody's property, and this is an example. My mother was on somebody's property and she walked up and the guy was not shoveled, hadn't been plowed and stuff. And my mother's in her late 70s and my mother fell down the steps on the way out. And the town said to her, you know, like, let us pick up your medical bills through the insurance. Of course, my mother would know. My mother's going to sit at home and tell me about it every night. She's not going to go to the hospital. But But the town did offer her that because she was volunteering and it was a legitimate thing. But in light of what happened to my mother, they got the Boy Scouts to go out and shovel some of these people that their steps weren't shoveled, pick up some sand and salt. And this was something that the Boy Scouts kind of do regularly there, but they have a huge Boy Scout civic thing in their town. It's a big thing to their scouts. So maybe it would be something that we could identify with Norm, and maybe his scouts wouldn't be interested and we'd have to look for somebody else. But in her town that my mom fell, they offered her, go to the hospital, we'll pay it. No, she didn't go. But as a light of what happened to that, the Boy Scouts came and said, hey, if we have a storm, why don't you tell us who's not getting shoveled out? We'll go shovel them out. And then that became a service project for their scouts. So, I mean, as you go along, you're going to identify different things. You know, maybe it's going to be as simple as being able to tell the EMS, hey, you know what, if you go to that house, go to the back door, don't go to the front door because you're going to put your foot through the porch. But just little safety things. And again, as volunteers through that program, we're not liable from what I'm being told. And like, this is part of the legal stuff that I'm still looking at and haven't been able to present to you yet. But we're being told that we're not held responsible as reporters. We don't want to be reporters. We just want to go and visit with people, give them a meal, and ask them if there's anything they want, and see, and you know, if they want to have their blood pressure checked. Chief has committed to me, and Captain Harmon has committed to me that they would be very willing to go out. But we want to make sure that they're invited there, not that they're being forced to having somebody come and check on them. You know.
Now, like, do the volunteers have to go through a background check or anything, or is that?
They don't usually, like for Meals on Wheels and my mom's program. That is completely up to the governing board of the town, whether or not they want to require that. And from what I understand, the town can do that free anyway. So that's completely up to you guys as selectmen, whether you wanted to require that, you know. But it's something that we'd all have to work together on, because it would evolve into, you know, maybe we need this, or maybe you found out like you want us to do this. We're willing to work with you guys, and we just want to do a good program.
So back to your timeline.
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking mid-March. I can be ready to come back and give you more information on whether or not the state of Maine would like us to do some background checks. Maybe they would. I'm sorry, go ahead.
How much money will you need per week?
So I figured it out that we can probably start with an estimate of $1.87 a meal. So if we're doing, it all depends on how many meals people want. Most people won't ask for a meal 7 days, just because they have doctor's appointments, they're going out with their daughter or whatever. I'm just going to give you an estimate right now of $1.87 a meal, and I'm going to tell you that I'd like to start by identifying 20 people who could use that visit and a meal at least once a week. See what we get for responses. Put it out there. Let people know it's available. See what we get for responses. See who we get signing up. And then see what I can do with Suzette learning how this couponing thing goes. Because $1.87 a meal is like their regular base price. And a lot of these programs don't use coupons because they're federally funded. So, but we're not looking to soak the budget. We'll use I'm learning, and I never thought I'd pick up a coupon, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
But
in the warmer months, in the summertime, with the farmers in this town, be willing to donate some of the fruit or vegetables and stuff.
So that's actually another thing, is that if they weren't willing to donate, we might be able to later on look into maybe purchasing a CSA from one of these, which would guarantee us a certain amount of vegetables from their farm. It would also promote local farms and local agriculture as part of the program. As I said, at this time, that's something that I'm thinking about. I've kind of gotten some paperwork from Jordan Pike on what his CSA costs, but I know that there are other people in the area that offer it, so I'd be asking them to give me prices. That we don't usually have to worry about that until February, March to sign up for something like that. But it would help the town kind of help promote their local farm CSAs too, as if we were using that. Or I know that there's a woman in town that's trying to start up a decent local farmers crafters type of market over there at Hometown Mobile. And if she's got some people that are coming, maybe at the end of her day on Saturday, maybe they would all give a couple of things towards that. Certainly we wouldn't turn away donations, as long as they were fresh and as long as they were not even, not expired things. But certainly we would never turn away donations, and we would use them. And
back to the time when you wanted to start mid-March?
I think mid-March.
Is when you would like to start?
Yeah.
You're $1.87 a meal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what your mother is at right now.
That's what.
And she's been doing it for how long?
My mom's been doing it. I'm going to tell you, this is her 5th or 6th year. 5th or 6th.
Right. So I guess my point is that she's gotten it down. So she's got it down pretty good, and the price is pretty low. So my guess is that when you first start off, you're not even going to be close to that number because you're just learning. I mean, or
You don't know Suzette.
That's what I'm saying.
Am I wrong, ladies?
No, but I can
Or
understand
have
that.
you already gone and said, okay, I can get these styrofoam things, this is the price I get, it's a 50 count, and I can get, have you already put all those numbers together to come up with a number?
So,
Because that's the reality is yeah, I can certainly see that you would strive to get to close to $1.87,
correct.
and obviously it's attainable because somebody's doing that, but my guess is when you start, there's gonna be waste. You're gonna find, oh wow, look at all this waste that we have. We got to find a way to. Well, it's just you learn as you go.
Correct.
I mean,
Absolutely,
I don't care what you read-
100%.
I don't care what you read in the book or what somebody tells you until you actually do it.
Right.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, and I really want to stress that I really want the VNA's help with. I want to be able to fax them my menu and have them look at it and say, you're a little low in the protein and a little high on the carbs. Like, I want to be able to utilize that service to make sure that I'm not giving people something that's going to be unhealthy for them. I want them to look and tell me I'm giving a nutritionally sound meal, and that's important to me as the nurses. They will know that. So.
I could give you menus to try.
Menus to try, different menu suggestions. I'd like to ask some of the local farmers and stuff, maybe some of their recipes that would be low salt and using organic local things. I know that there's a market nearby that has a lot of organic, fruits and vegetables and stuff, and I could ask them to maybe help. But if I can get that okay to give you a good price and to start gathering some information, to maybe have Jenny talk to her GA people and see if anybody would like that help. They don't have to. It's not a mandatory thing. If they would like that, or if they would like it once a week, if they'd like it twice a week. We don't want to go in and clean their house. We don't want to get in and look at that. We just want to go give them a meal and say hi. And so that's what we're offering. I can come back again next week with like some solid numbers as far as like how much I can get those trays for, how much I'd like to be able to talk to the VNA, and I can probably even call them and just say, would you be willing to? But I just wanted to get the board's feeling on it first and see if you want us to go forward and look at that as an option here in town.
I'm going to ask one more time to ask. I asked Paul what he thought of it, what his opinion was of it. And Laura something like this? What is your opinion of
I
doing
think it's
something?
wonderful.
And Chip, what's your opinion of doing something like this for the town?
It's great.
Again,
Absolutely.
2 to 1.
Well, that's not a vote of approval yet, but yeah, so if you'll give me just a little bit of time next week at the end of your meeting or whatever, I'll come in. I'll show you what we're looking at for trays. I'll let you know what the price is on.
No, I don't, that's not, I don't think, I really don't wanna
Yeah.
know about what the cost of a tray is, that's not the point.
Well, I mean, I'll show you like a sample. This is what we got. This was.
Yeah, but I guess my point is that if you're, if you put together a meal, and you say a turkey, so you got a 15-pound turkey, you figure I can get X amount of meals out of that, so you have a cost,
Right.
you have a cost for the turkey.
Yeah.
You can figure out, divide it by the number of meals that you're gonna get out of it, so there's the turkey, you got vegetables, you got a tray, you got a saran wrap, and so if you do all that, you ought to be able to figure out what you could do locally here with what the prices are here to get, and so that would be a closer number for you. We're not necessarily using somebody else's number. That other number is attainable, and again,
It's it's not always exactly $1.87.
And if you get a turkey closer to Thanksgiving when they're on sale, or you have some freezer space, you wait for them to go on sale, so you buy a bunch of them and you freeze them. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways that you can try to save, but it's just those you're not going to think about, and you may not think about until, oh crap, we should have done this. So the next time you'll save, but the current time is going to be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, $1.87 is like an average number that it's been suggested I start with.
Now, are these
So we
meals
may
hot?
be able to. I'm sorry.
Are these meals hot?
They're heatable in the microwave.
And that's the other thing you gotta be careful of. I was gonna bring this up like outside, but foam trays, you gotta get like the plasticky ones.
Well,
that
the
heat
pressed
better.
paper is what they.
So they
not
can.
styrofoam.
There you go. Yes.
The pressed paper is
Yep.
what they suggest. So, yeah, because they're gonna sit in their refrigerator, and if we're delivering on Friday, they're gonna sit. Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays are gonna be in there, so they don't want them to. Then you put it in the microwave, and it's gonna be. Yeah.
You know, saran wrap versus a lid, or some of them use those the tin foil where you go over the edges.
You can't
Right, no
use
tin
foil,
foil
but
in
that
the
idea,
microwave.
that's what I was
Right.
picturing myself.
So
Right.
I mean,
Tend to
here's.
seal it rather than just saran wrap, which can get opened and.
I mean, here's another thought, and maybe not for right away because it would be a little bit of an expense. But I don't know if you've seen, if any of you go to the Dollar Tree, which don't go there right now because it's not a good time right now. But if you see, Dollar Tree has plastic with a lid, and they're only $1. So if somebody threw it away by mistake or didn't give it back, we'd be out $1. But maybe we could transition into using, and they're only $1, and they come with a lid, like they're almost like a Tupperware. I mean, they're not built to probably last as long as Tupperware, and you'd have to spoil some of them sooner or later. But for $1, and they have the compartments in them, and then they have the lid on them, and I mean that's something that we can look at too. You know, certainly that's something we could look at too. But
the bottom line is always, what's the cost? So what are you looking for from the town besides on the organizational side?
So what I need from the town is I need to be able to, when I get a donation from the VFW, when I get a donation from here or here, a monetary donation, I need to be able to put that in an account that we can use to purchase food. I need to know how that's going to work. Can I only get a check once every 2 weeks, or do I go out and spend the money and then be reimbursed from that every 2 weeks? And that's something you guys are going to have to decide with Jordan, so I'm not looking for an answer tonight on that either.
Why can't you just have a checking account for that?
If I
So
do
it's
that,
part of the town.
right.
It's part of the town. So the problem is
Well,
that
wait a minute now. We're just feeding 20 people.
right, but in other words, it's the people are giving her money, but if it's a donation, they have to donate it to the town if they want a write-off.
Right.
And they're gonna feel better donating it to the town rather than donating it to an individual person.
I mean, I have no
It's
problem,
no
people
different
donate stuff to me all the time, I have no
Right,
problem with that,
It's
but.
no different than the annual, than the festival, the donations that we got for that.
I know,
go-
but
go
this
through the-
is,
And the only other thing is that I need my volunteers to be covered by that blanket volunteer insurance. And if the town doesn't pick this up as a program, if it's our own program, we're not covered by that. I mean,
Right.
sooner or later, I'd probably, have enough to do that, but I can't, personally, I'm not a rich woman and,
But so the logistics you need the help, but is there a monetary amount that you're looking for the town to give the program?
I don't think so at this time, to be honest with you. I think I need to complete my work. I think I need to find out what the VFW is going to give me. I think I have to go and do my presentation to the EMS. I'm going to go and speak with the Healthy Coalition people and see if I can get them to help me. I'd like the VNA to maybe help me. And I think if I can get these people to sponsor the veterans people to help me with all the people in town that are veterans and the Healthy Coalition people to help me make sure that the seniors are getting healthy, nutritious meals. I think that we can do this with very little taxpayer dollars, and I think if we're mindful and do our couponing like we're being taught, if we have people help us with coupons, we have maybe just a little soda box here and drop off your coupons. We'll pick them up every couple of days. But I think if we're mindful, I think that this will be a very self-sustaining thing. I at this time I'm not asking for any money from the town.
My street. No, I'm not getting tricky.
Yeah, I think it would basically run like summer camp runs, right? They're kind of like an enterprise account, right? What do they do with? So it's not a budget.
No, it isn't.
I mean, I'd be
It
willing
still
to
flows through the town.
give you guys
Right.
that too.
Yes.
Right.
But we voted on that, to do it that way.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to keep you guys in the dark either. As this program progresses, I'd really like to come in like every once in a while and just say like, hey, here's how many we're doing now and here's how much it's costing us average, because this is a brand new thing. So let's keep our eyes on it and see how much it's costing, see how much people are helping and,
Yeah, so there's just a couple, I don't know, again, I don't know what everybody else is thinking, I'm thinking more on the legal side. I don't know if the town needs to have a vote on the program, because it comes under the town, even though there's really no money.
Right.
Just like we do summer camp, but that was voted on by the town to do it the way it is. It's kind of like its own account.
Right.
So this would potentially be similar, but the town voted on the summer camp, so I don't know whether they have to vote on this.
Right.
Because again, while we're not giving it money, it is still under the insurance, and so one could argue there is an actual cost.
Right.
It's a marginal cost, but there's whatever that insurance, if I had to piece it out, there's a marginal cost for increased, potential risk on the insurance side, and there's a risk if you have a claim, then the insurance company is paying out, but that ultimately goes back to the town.
Right.
So that's why I don't know whether this is something that has to be voted on by the town.
So you could probably just ask.
Well, I'd have to talk to our attorneys to find out.
And the insurance company.
Yeah, I'm not ready to start tomorrow anyway, so we've got.
No, so I'm just saying, that's a legal question, I gotta find out, even before we even think whether we wanna do it or don't wanna do it. It's just, that's something whether we can even do it mid-March, or whether if we're gonna do it, it would be, not until June, which is the vote. And then put something on the ballot and have to figure out what to put on the ballot.
Right. And I just want to let you know too, I know I said Jenny a lot of times. I'm not dumping this on her. People would be able to call me and say like, gee, I thought I wasn't going to be home today, but I am. I'd like to have a meal, or I only need 2 this week or whatever. they would be able to do that without her. I'm just saying that if she happens to know somebody that could use this, we'd certainly, I would ask her to ask them first because that's all protected confidentially, or even if she wanted to reach out to them and say, if you're interested in this, call Deborah, and in that way that information is protected. I know I said your name a lot of times, I'm really not giving you any more work. I know everybody else does, I didn't.
I think it's a great idea. I think we just have to find out the legalities and anything else, but yeah.
So maybe I can come back in next week and give you guys a little more information, and you can give me a little more information, and
Week after, next week's
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go next week because I don't know, I wouldn't schedule it now because I don't know. Sometimes my attorney's quick and sometimes she's not quick. So I don't know, and she may have to research it, so I don't know. And then we also need to talk about how we wanna, whether we wanna take that on or whether we don't wanna take that on, or we also may not wanna, even though it may not be required to go before the voters, we may choose that we want to put it before the voters.
right.
And in some ways, that actually, if the voters vote, pretty big in favor of it, that actually does a couple things for you. One, it gives you some publicity because it's on the ballot, and they actually see that we have a program. Oh, we have a program, so a lot of people see that.
Yeah, I'm absolutely not
You know what I'm
opposed to putting it on the ballot.
And then if you have a large support of it, then that also gives you some to let you know that the town's behind the program, not just 3 select.
Some willy-nilly,
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying is I don't and I'm not trying to delay it at all, but I'm just saying is we have to figure that out.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to come in early, and I didn't come to you guys in October because I didn't have enough information yet, and I've been talking to a lot of people. I've been asking, who do I get? So that's why I wanted to come to you guys early and give you some time to make those decisions and maybe give us a little guidance as to. I know, like I said, the federal programs, they require you to drop off the mail and get out of there. And I'm not real sure that that's the way we want to go anyway. So,
I think we have enough for now. Let us do our work and we'll get back in touch with you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Jenny, just shoot me an email whenever they want to see me next. Thanks. There, I gave you some work. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jim, can I suggest something that has nothing to do with that? Because I've been watching these meetings at home on YouTube. We can't see the faces of our select people when we're watching it.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's important that we see the select people at a meeting and we see their faces.
Yep.
It would be nice maybe if you guys change your seating's okay, but change Paul's so people can see the selectmen. People are talking to the selectmen and we can't see what their facial expressions are.
Yeah, but we
and sometimes even hear what
but we
they
have
say.
we have an oval table.
Well, you could fix that.
Make it square.
No, just have Paul change his seat
To where?
on the other side of Laura. When I watch the video, I see you, I see Laura, but I never
You see me, so this whole entire discussion that we have with Deborah, you saw my back because I was like this.
No, you turn.
No, I didn't. I was either this way or I was this way. You didn't see my face at all. So I just.
How about sitting? I see Laura's face.
we have a budget committee meeting. No, that's fine. It's a good suggestion.
If there was a way that the people could see your faces.
Trust me, they don't want to see my face.
See the reactions that different people have, okay? And the planning board, I think it is, I just mentioned it to the other Jen, you can't hear them at all. I put my speaker on the highest thing and I hook it into a speaker. Cannot hear them talking at all.
I mean, these are our speakers. So if they have paper on top of them,
It's not gonna work.
okay, you're not gonna hear it. So if they have all sorts of stuff all over the table, which they tend to do, they have maps and plans and everything else, that may very well muffle them. If they're quiet, which I'm not, that's gonna be a
Yeah,
problem.
we could hear you, but it's nice
So-
that other people are finally starting to watch you too.
Yeah, no, I
See this
hear
stuff.
you, I hear you.
I can't
People,
see some of the selectmen.
I don't think our faces are very important, but that's your
I think
your
some
opinion.
people's faces are very important.
Well, that's fine.
Thank you.
What you doing here?
Georgie's thing with the,
It's not till 7:30, you know.
I know,
Alright.
I just finished up the library, so.
Just try to start a Meals on Wheels.
Alright.
Make your money, she's a dog. Would she be interested?
Alright, where we at? We're at back to minute. Do you wanna talk about that at all, or you just wanna?
What?
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah, we have
no,
to-
I
we
see.
have to-
Okay, minutes,
Do all
right?
other stuff.
It's been a month, give you a break.
These are the minutes.
Okay, but we're talking 1-5, right, not
Yes.
1-4, okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's okay,
That was done before.
that's fine, right before we moved it out. Yeah, there we go. It's amazing to turn the AC on, this fucking place is hot. Sorry.
Yeah, really, I know. Can you believe it?
And now they didn't see my face, so they couldn't read my lips.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the mute button.
Oh,
So Paul, if you need to really say something, you can hit the mute button.
and when it goes red, they can't hear you.
And they can't see your face either.
Or just do the mouth words and.
I make a motion to approve the Friday, January 5 minutes as written.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Paperwork.
Alright, I have a poll permit, I think it's, no.
Where is this?
What's today, Thursday?
Yep,
11.
the 11th. Gone by fast.
Just say where it is.
It should be on the front.
Oh, where's, Poplar Hill licenses. License needed for replaced poles listed below. And this is on, so I guess they're replacing some. There's also new construction. 2 replacement poles on Poplar Hill Road. So, and are we signing all of these, or are we just signing?
Because one goes to the town, one probably has to, how many are there?
Oh, town, utility,
Yeah.
telephone company.
Yep.
And this is just the, and the TT here is Tommy that said, okay.
Shouldn't we sign all 3 of them at the same time?
Oh, yeah, good point. Give it to me last, I'll do it, mine.
Find the other one. I'm looking for the stuff that I have to read.
Yeah, anything else?
Do you want the other, yeah, this is a purchase order. This one is just the request to do, for me to join the Treasurers Association. $30 fee for that membership fee. And then there's a time off request too.
What is this? Appendiflex sorter, what do you know what that is? Do you
That's
know
one
what
of
that
those, that's one of those, they, it's like an accordion folder.
is? Oh, okay.
That's Pendaflex is the brand.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I don't know, who is it for?
Dale.
Dale.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what it's, and some of them are like, they have alphabeted A, B, C, D.
Okay, I just.
You know what I'm
like-
talking about?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do know.
Well, you can sign it if you want, or if you don't wanna sign it, that's fine.
What day of the week is
Who is this?
Just sign at the bottom, it's just,
it? Do you know what day of the week this is? I'm just curious.
What day?
March 20th?
March 20 is a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
You can have that back. Sorry.
So, did Jordan already have this?
Yes, I believe so. I think that came from Jason.
We just sign this as department head?
Yeah.
And this is.
Because he looks at those first to make sure they have the time that they're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
That's supposed to be written first. You got Dale's, right? Dale's request. March 20th.
Oh, okay. Can you just initial that next time so we know that you saw it? Or do you get it first?
I get it.
Oh, okay. Just so we know, yeah, just so we know that.
Anything else?
That was it.
How you doing on GA?
Good.
You caught up?
Yes, I think so.
You want any help from us? Yeah.
Pretty much done.
Did I already give you a sticky?
This one? Yes.
Do you know what I meant that for? The meals?
Is she?
I don't know. Maybe she'd like them better than us. Saying, I don't know. You know, maybe.
I know who they.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so I got a bunch of stuff to go
Okay.
through. Well, I guess, this is an easy one. I checked on the copier.
Mhm.
That's actually a pretty good rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but why are we making so many colored copies?
Well, there's something I'll look into that, because there's also a way that you can, on the machines, you can do it so that it's almost like two printers.
Mhm.
So it's like the Canon black and white and the Canon color.
Mhm.
And the Canon color, then we might be able to, we have to do a separate password to go into it.
We used
Just to make
have
sure
yeah.
you, and everybody can have the password, it's an easy password, it's not like everybody has to, but it's just the fact that they have to make that additional step, oh, that's right, this isn't color, it's black and white.
Because I just think that's,
Yep.
you know, we could control that.
But the rate that we're getting actually is pretty good, I
Yeah.
checked it with our office, and we
Okay.
do a couple of different places, and the rate's actually pretty good, so, that's that. The other thing is I gave you guys some fire stuff.
Yeah.
So this is something I've been working on for a while. This one here in the top is
It's on
a new time card
Yeah.
that we're gonna have them do that
Yeah.
hopefully is gonna make things easier for them and probably more importantly Jordan,
Yeah,
to be able to decipher which shift they are, because it's like 5 separate, depending on what they're doing, there's 5 separate pay scales and all sorts of stuff.
okay.
So that's what that is.
Yeah.
The second one you don't have to look at yet. Go to the third one, which is the last page. So I've been working on with Chief a little bit, but this was, remember we had an earlier conversation with doing what a lot of fire departments do. You have your pay scale is based upon qualifications and seniority. And obviously what you're trying to do is you're incentivizing people to get higher qualifications
Right,
and to stay around, because if they do, they get paid a
Yeah.
little bit more.
yeah,
Right now, we have zero seniority scheme at all, which means that if you've been there for 20 years, you get paid the exact same amount as a rookie if you're basically still qualified the same way. So that's what, so this pay scale does that, and so if you take a look, so one, it's also broken down because we have cross-trained, we're fire and rescue, so we have, if you're purely an EMT and you have no firefighting at all, then you're only on the right-hand side.
okay. Now,
Okay.
what's the 0 to 4?
0 to 4 years.
Okay, I
So
didn't
those,
know if it was
that's
months,
the,
whatever, so
no,
I
that's the seniority, so anywhere, if you're 5 to 9 years, if you're 10 to 14, if you're 15, so those are, and you can notice, an EMT basic, after 4 years, if that's all they stay, I'm not gonna give them a raise, cause I want them to get the advanced. They should be trying to get a higher level. But at advanced, they can stay there, it's not like they have to go to paramedic, that's a big, that's a huge jump.
Yeah,
And that's without any firefighting at all.
okay,
The other, once they're a firefighter, then they shift to here, to the other side, to the
oh, so
to
this
the
doesn't
left.
matter anymore.
That doesn't matter anymore,
Okay.
because if you notice here, primarily is fire, and then below, you add on a dollar amount, or 75 cents in the EMT basic, to whatever the numbers are above.
Okay,
So this is like it's like an additional pop on top. So, and if you notice, you'll see, if you do the numbers, they'll match over here. And then the difference between A, B, C, D, and E, the B, so the first jump, I did at 3%. So it's a 3% pop for everybody when they go from A to B. So once they hit the 5-year mark, they get a 3% raise. Did you follow what I'm saying? With the exception of just firefighter 1 and 2, because I want them to get apparatus, which is pump and evoc. That's some additional training they can get, so I want them to get that. So that's why they're only, provisional is capped out after A, they don't get any raises. Same thing as firefighter 1 and 2, then they have to go up to apparatus. And then apparatus is then they, after 10 years or after 14, they won't get a raise. They get bumped up if that's all they want to stay. So A to B is 3%. Going to C is 10%, but it's not 10 from B, it's 10 from A. So in other words, from 0 to 10 would be a 10% raise, basically, if you follow what I'm saying.
yep, yep,
Then C to D, I did 13%, so basically another 3%. And then once they hit 20 is another big jump, so that's 20%. So basically, a person that's been there 20 years is getting paid 20% more than somebody equally qualified that's only been there for 1 year. So does that make sense?
yeah,
We only have, I think, 1 person in C right now, and maybe 2 people in B.
okay,
So it gives you an idea of how junior our department is. And that's why I wanted to do this, is to encourage them to stay, is because they get a raise. And so then, using this, if you then go to here,
is that the second page?
that's the second
Okay.
page. What I've done here is, this is the payroll sheet that we fill out on.
Okay, yeah,
And you'll see there's a seniority level that's circled. So that is their seniority levels. Now I don't have everybody's hire date yet, so some of them are 1/1/17 because I don't have it yet. There's a couple that we have to look up. But as you can see, TJ Gagnon is B, Captain Harmon is a B, Captain Stasowicz is a C, so he's the C, and Tyler Thurber is a B. And I think everybody else is A's. You'll see the ones that are, I don't know whether the ones that are bold, you see they're bold a little bit. So those are the ones that actually are seeing an impact.
okay, yeah.
So they're actually gonna get, so he's gonna get a raise, he's gonna get a raise. JT Harmon's gonna get a raise because he's also got the seniority part.
Mhm.
And he's got apparatus. So I did these two guys as apparatus. I'm not sure if anybody else does.
Okay.
Where these really matter is if they're on the per diem side.
Yeah.
Because a call, they're still only getting $10 an hour on a call if they
Okay.
go out on a call. So it's really only the per diem.
Okay.
So the incremental cost to us right now is not that
Yeah.
much. And so I wanted to basically put this pay scale in now. I don't think it needs to wait. There's money in the budget for it,
So that's what I want
for the
to
per
know.
diem.
Yeah.
And so I don't see, and again, some people can get a raise, so it helps morale in the department while they're going through some, not tough times, but there's some challenging, because we've had some changes. And then we have a nice base for the new chief to come in to work with that, so.
Yeah.
Questions? Concerns?
No, I think it's a good idea.
No, I'm all right.
Yeah.
So, all right, I make a motion to put the Lebanon Fire EMS Payscale in place, I guess, make it effective tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, actually, effective Sunday.
Okay. Yep. I'll
Yeah,
second that.
effective, what's Sunday? Where are we? Effective
Is it the
January 14th,
Okay.
2018.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Are you in favor?
I'll write on mine. Effective 1/14/2018. I'll just, that was Jordan, get something signed off on by us. And then last on that front, Captain Hardman has been putting in a ton of extra time doing administrative work, and he ain't getting paid for it. I'd like to give him, as a token of our appreciation, that the assistant chief's stipend, which is $150. So that's not going to anybody right now. So I'm not saying he's an interim chief. He's not getting promoted. But I just want to give him that until we get the new chief in, because he's doing a lot of additional administrative stuff. The chief is, or the current chief, when he's in Natick, again, he's doing it, and it's not necessarily while he's on shift. He's putting a lot of
That's
extra hours.
$150 a week.
Yep. On top of, he's putting a ton of time in. You even ask Jordan as far as on the payroll and everything else. He's putting a ton of time in. So I just don't like taking advantage of people. And again, it's not permanent. It's until the new chief comes in. So who knows? It may only be for another month. But it's just trying to say, we appreciate the help that you're putting in.
And the chief thinks we should do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's fine.
All right, so make a motion that we start paying JT, Captain Harmon, $150 stipend starting next week, which is starting the 14th.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
I'm against it.
Okay, all right.
Get that?
Got it.
All right. That's where I'm at for fire stuff, I think, for the time being. All right. What else do I have? Huge list. Oh, here's an easy one. I'll get rid of paperwork. This was the other pile I gave you. So there's two. You look at the top. One that says property assessment of 150 Covewood.
Yep.
There's two of them that say that. That gives you an idea of what a property card would look like when it's printed from John's system.
Okay.
The second two pieces, he would like us to approve as field cards for when they come here to do evaluations and then go out and actually do the field work. this is what they're gonna be taking with them. It'll be double-sided
Okay.
on a part of, this is so they can write their notes and everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know why we have to approve it, but they just
Yeah,
wanted us
that's
to
fine.
approve it, so.
So back to the property card.
Yep.
So like so we'll be getting rid of the boxes out there. I assume.
Well, so this is the,
We're
I
back
asked,
to this again.
well, I asked them about property cards, and
Yeah.
I don't know, the stuff is in the system. So transfers are in the system, they're in the files, so I think it's a waste of effort
Mm-hmm.
to have her having to hand write in on these property cards. Most towns don't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would make those go away. I'd take those and I'd file them in the property.
That we were talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I do away with those.
So will these like have history? I think that was the issue about owner.
Well,
owner,
no,
owner.
I mean all that history, new history will be in there.
The
All the old history has to be manually entered in.
Okay, so that wouldn't. So
So-
the history would be on the card.
Right. So somebody's
Okay.
gonna have to come in here and look at the file and they can pull up the history or
Okay.
just.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's what they're gonna have to do anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, eventually, if I can get that whole file uploaded
It'll be
electronically,
online.
then it will be online. They don't
That
actually
would be
come.
that would
you
be
know.
great. Yeah.
But that's a little ways down the road.
Okay.
But I mean,
No, that's
eventually,
fine.
I'd like to.
No, if these are the things he wants to use, I have no
Yeah,
objection.
who am I
I mean,
gonna-
he knows.
That's
I don't
right,
know.
that's right.
No,
He's
I
been
don't
doing
think
it.
this is a good one here.
He's been doing it longer. No,
Yeah.
this box is too small, or yeah, I mean.
no,
so-
I think if that's what he wants
so,
to use,
yeah.
that's fine with
So I
me.
make a motion to approve these two for his field card for John to use in his work
Yep.
here in town.
I'll second.
All those in favor? All right. I will let him know. That was easy. Next is personal policy and ethics policies. Just looking through. So go ahead and, have you read through this, Paul?
What?
Both of these?
Some, yes.
Yes,
She changed very little on the ethics
Okay.
than what was existing. All she did is she added, I think, 2 spots where people could recuse themselves.
Is that the bold stuff or no?
No. So like I said, I forget where it was. I think it was 2 spots, and other than that, everything was fine. And so all I did is, I think there was a couple of spelling errors and periods that shouldn't be there, and so I just cleaned it up as well. So the formatting is a little bit different than the older one, but since it's a couple of really minor changes, I figured that would be amended, make it official. And again, I put it all on. The other ones were kind of mixed up, which is why at the bottom I put down, page 2 of 7. So that way you know there's actually 7 pages to this whole thing. Because some of them are all by themselves and everything else. So, I mean, the other thing is I believe every volunteer is supposed to be signing off on this.
Well, it says they are.
And I'm not sure that's happened right now. And my guess is the time to do that would be when they're sworn in. Wouldn't that be a logical
Well, I
time?
would think so. Yeah.
They gotta sign that in. I mean, wouldn't that be?
Who has the records if we sign them? Jordan.
I would.
I would
so,
think
yeah.
it would be in our file, right?
Right.
There she is, come in.
Oh, she got out early. Okay.
I said, hey, it's dead, can I leave?
Hey.
All
Awesome.
right, we'll put this aside for the time being. Let the busy lady come in.
Hi, Miss Jen. Bye, Miss Jen.
So she was in the other day when I was here, and I already kind of filled her in
Did she think it was a good idea?
on what we were on where we were going. So I don't really have to fill her in. Yeah.
1 second before, while it's on my mind. You want everybody next Thursday from the station,
Is that when we have them? Is
Yeah.
Waste Management a go?
Yes, at 5:30.
5:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
Who's
it.
coming from Waste Management?
I'm on that.
My big thing for today.
Check her off, Paul.
It was, his name's Paul,
Okay.
and he said he might bring one other person to.
Alright, that's fine, good.
Alright,
So,
so who's even on the board? Anybody at all? They've all,
well, supposedly they got appointed, but I think all the appointments expired or something, so they were only appointed for 1 year, and we haven't appointed anybody. So we're not even sure there's a board anymore. So we're kind of, it's a circus, come on,
okay,
bear with us.
remember how it used to be? Right, remember
Yeah.
though?
Yeah.
Remember how it used to be? I mean, it was packed.
Yes.
I would love to bring it back so it's like that. But I think you're gonna need the right group of people that's willing to do things though too. I mean, we just think that it maybe should fall under recreation and you can get your own committee and,
Okay.
you know, you kind of do the money part because you deal with this anyway, you know, that you gotta come in and get the, you know, that was our thought.
We just, instead of a separate referendum item, we just add it to your budget, we just put $1,500
Well, there'll be a
or whatever
separate place for just that.
for annual festival, and we put a line item for annual festival.
Okay.
Donations, if you get donations for it, they'd flow through and you could use those, but
Okay.
yeah.
And if I can use the school, I can use the school? I mean, I just wanna know. Why not?
I don't,
That's not up to
again,
us, is it? Okay, no, I'm just making sure.
yeah, I'm not, at least me, I'm not trying to control the festival
No.
for whatever you guys decide you wanna do it, if you wanna do it at the power lines, hell, I don't care, I mean,
I wouldn't
I'm just saying is, I'm not looking to control where or how or who is there or what you do, I just.
Why didn't you guys hit me like months ago? Well, we didn't know, we were like, I know, we don't know, we were like, I don't know. Alright, I tried to put a couple feelers out to people, I haven't heard back from them yet, I'm like, hey, if I do this, you guys wanna be on the board, because I need a good group.
John Paul will help you, so he's on the.
Hi, John Paul.
I already started some stuff.
Oh, okay. Were you on it last year too?
Yeah, I was on it last year. I did the advertisements and stuff like that. I reached out to Nancy Wyman. She's going to reach out to the individual different groups she's on, and she just sent out an email to them this week. They hasn't got any replies. I had her have them contact me via the Lebanon email. Whether or not they're interested, and who's interested, what, and then it's going to go from there. Like I said, I put some feelers out there, put a couple things on Facebook. Just waiting to hear. I just talked to Marcy over at the library to set up for the first meeting being February 8th. Because I know it's correct.
That's peak week for me, isn't it?
Well, I'm just saying, it's mainly to see the interest.
Yeah.
Trying to get some thoughts together. Like I said, it's kind of like we still have to. I would still need to get information from Melissa regarding the web page and the Facebook page. She still has the passwords and controls of those, so to put out.
Does she not want to be involved, or we don't know that yet?
She generally doesn't have the time. She doesn't really have the time to be involved. Right. She has too many other things going on. Yeah. So she's still waiting to meet with you guys to turn over whatever she has. I don't know what all. Besides the website password.
All right. So let me ask this question before we go further with the website. If I end up taking over and put on the Lebanon Rec, do I have to have that Facebook site? Can't I just go off from the Lebanon Rec site?
Yeah, you could.
If we're gonna post it.
You could fold the it's just a blog page basically telling people what's there. Yeah. You can fold it into another page on the Rec site.
I've got close to 1,000 people.
I know. I'm just saying. Yeah. I don't know what the usage on what the followers on the festival page is. But I would suggest you keep the Facebook page because 75% of people go to Facebook more than they go to a website.
Oh, I know. I have a Facebook page for Lebanon Rec.
Yeah.
And I post everything on it. Even the other day, I'm like, hey, it's warming up.
Yeah. So.
No, I think
but I'm just saying, she has those. I can't put anything on those because I'm not allowed.
Right. You're not an admin.
So I've been putting it through my Lebanon Me and You page telling people, this is it, and then, it's been shared on the LMTS page too, so word's gonna get out.
I'm like lost on pages.
Yeah, I know,
No, I think
believe me.
to answer your question, I think, again, we're putting it under your control, and then if you wanna have the committee and then let them run totally on their own, that's up to you, whether you wanna chair it but have them be worker bees. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I just, because what happens is there's not a lot of continuity.
Right.
Because it all depends, you get this new board and then somebody brand new here, and so there's a little bit but not, and so by putting it under one person, there's a little bit more continuity year to year. Again, if you have I understand if you have more followers on your rec Facebook, that would make more sense for you reaching out. You're reaching out more, you're reaching out to more people, with that.
It's been building up year after year.
Obviously, I mean, you said they have a web page. I mean, so if you could put the events and you could put a link on on the rec Facebook page to the web page to see what the events are and all that kind of stuff, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, or you keep them both and you put just duplicate posts on both. I don't know. That's up to you. That's up to you guys.
No, I think it can be done, and just
Try to get the people in first in order to organize it in time, and then trying not to be, inundated with all of a sudden the crunch that we gotta get done with a couple
Well,
months.
I know, that's why I like to have my stuff kind of prepared almost a year ahead.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you have a year ahead.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, next year.
Next year. I wanted to start the meetings as soon as the other one was over.
Yeah, I mean, I can sit there and tell you my dates for everything.
I'd rather, started the meetings, back in June last year.
I've already started stuff for like craft fair and trunk or treating. I'm like in the midst of doing things. So she charged last year for spots, am I correct?
Pardon?
Did she charge last year for spots?
For some of them, yes. If you weren't a resident, you got charged. If you were a resident, you didn't get charged. But if you were late in filing for the spot, then there was a late fee that you had to pay. But it was minimal anyway. It was 10 to 50. It was like the spots were $10 a piece, I think, and then late charge was like $5. So.
How much were the spots?
10, I think, for a stall.
For last year? Alright.
And then,
Because I know, like, the first year when they started doing this, they wanted to hit me $50. I'm like, I got a little mini thing. I ain't paying $50 to cost me $200 for a bounce house for you. Forget it.
Yeah, it was like 10. Like I said, I think it was $10 a spot for a stall, cold stall, and then, like I said, then a $5 late fee if you didn't get it in time. Notification in time, which was like I think was the month before.
Okay.
Done.
Sucker. No, and whatever, put it out there. If you're having a meeting, and she can put it on the website too, and just say if people, bring your ideas, bring whatever.
right.
I said, I've contacted a couple people already, and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm meeting with the Selectmen tonight about something with the community festival.
The one that was doing, I forgot her name now, but the one that did the 5K run, she's going to be busy with her classwork, so she can't do the 5K, but she can suggest someone that can handle it for us.
Nicole?
What?
Is that Nicole?
No, it's not.
It was,
Geneva Nice.
Geneva, that's it.
Yes,
Yeah. She can suggest someone that can help us with it. It's just that with the timing, it's off for schoolwork.
Yeah.
But there's that, and then the other two people. I think there was only two other people on our Facebook mailing. I haven't heard anything from them. Like I said, I'm expecting to start hearing stuff from some of the people on some of Nancy's groups in a week or so. Last year I got preliminary okay from Jen Bozak. She did the farm. She did the.
That was great.
She did the farm stand thing
The
for
farmer market.
farmers market.
That was really
So
good.
I was thinking maybe a little mini farmers market.
I thought that was great.
She had interest in that back then, whether or not she still does, I don't know, I still have to, I was waiting for,
No, that was.
since
I
she's
thought
part
that
of
was
Nancy's group, you know, waiting for hearing back from
That was good.
all of them, so.
The 5K, now, did they have to rent some equipment for timing wise or anything?
It was software that was ran from a laptop.
Okay.
Didn't we purchase
Um,
the
yeah,
software? I
town
think
purchased
the town
Yeah.
owns it, right, or paid whatever.
Yeah, right, it was in the same thing with all the registrations and stuff like that, it's ran through a website, so I think there was a minimal, like, I think it was like $100 charge or something like that.
Yeah,
for
I can't remember.
like
It was something like
very
that.
minimal charge for
Yeah,
doing that.
Cause I'm thinking, even if we get rid of the porta potties, if we use the school, you know what I'm saying? Like, years ago.
And then, like I said, and then we can talk to the school, see if they got another,
Yeah, I'll do
Reading
it.
Rainbow, whatever the hell
I'll
they
do
called
it, Patty.
whatever they called that thing that they had that we tied into.
Wasn't it the day of?
It was,
Day-
celebration
or something.
Yeah, so whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
If we could tie into something like that again, that'd be nice. All depends on the time frames and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Boy, do I have my work cut out for me. Especially when my boss just asked me if I want to do 60 some odd hours a week.
Well, this is it though. You get a group.
I
You
know.
delegate.
I know, but it's just my brain.
I know.
Now it doesn't shut off as it is. It's gonna freaking go wherever. Cause my brain's just gonna go, oh.
Yeah.
That's when you send out texts.
I know.
And then just turn off the phones at night.
Wow, I can hit a lot of people too that did the craft fair.
Yeah.
You know, that would do
I just,
out there.
that was, like you said, the farmers thing was really great too, that
Yeah.
people with all, that was great too. Yeah, you're right, hey,
So,
Mm.
let your creativity flow, just.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess you need my number.
Yeah, I guess.
What's yours?
My phone's almost dying.
You can tell me
You
your
want my number?
Yeah,
Okay, 207
yeah,
200
yeah.
7762. You want to dial me?
I already did.
Alright.
I probably no
Alright,
service
there
there,
you
right?
Ignore.
Okay. Okay. What's your name again?
John Paul Cote.
Oh yeah, John Paul. I'm gonna put him in as John Paul.
Or JP. 7-Eleven. It's my birthday. The time.
Under festival. That way I'll know. Okay.
Okay.
That all you want with me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sweet.
That and your budget whenever you have it. Have you done it yet?
I'm on the 24th.
Yeah, but have you done it yet?
No, did she give me a paper yet? No. Did you give her a paper? No.
You want a paper?
Yes.
That's actually Jordan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you?
Jordan,
He's
gone.
now at 7.
God, I like
I know. Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Tell him
Okay.
tomorrow that he's not done his job,
Okay.
and I expected him.
Jenny will make a note of that.
I will. I'll put it right on his door.
Before you, so
Yeah.
that's fine. I'll get Jordan to get it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Awesome.
Because I said, give me a piece of paper, or I might just write down what I did. And...
All right.
All right.
Safe any?
Okay.
Safe
All
any?
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
Okay. Good night.
I just have a question. Could she go if we're just, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, yeah. The only other
If you
motion.
want to, I was just thinking maybe, because we gotta read this and look at this and,
Yeah, that's fine. If we have any motions, I'll write them down.
yeah,
Okay.
just so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, grand. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we'll be back to this
So
one
we're back
again.
to ethics or
Ethics.
ethics and personnel, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so. I mean, I've read them, so is this.
Yeah,
as much-
well, I
as much
had
time-
to, I
As
had
much
to.
time as you guys wanna go through it,
Well, no, I had read this too. I think I just would like to know where it got changed. But I don't know. It's really just kinda.
I was gonna say, I could probably, there's two areas which you said about refusal, and it was on that, oops, I bet you. so we're on. So, where did she, oh, there it is. So page 2 of 7.
Yep.
Most of the way down, any conflicting party may be required to recuse themselves. So that line going to the on the matter. So that's all she added.
Okay.
So there.
Yeah, and I think that's important to know that you're not even supposed to be in the discussion.
Right.
Like, you don't even, well, I'm not gonna vote, but I'm gonna give you my opinion, then that's not how it should be.
Then there's one other spot. I think it was on the ethics procedure, it's page 6 of 7.
Okay, wait, let me get there. Yeah.
Under 4B.
Mm-hmm.
She said, where it goes, board of selectmen or designated alternate.
Okay.
May, instead of shall, may do any one or all of the following. And then she actually numbered them 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
So 1, 2, and 3 were the same as the little italics, but she just put numbers on them.
Okay.
And then number 4 was request, and she actually wrote down, request the conflicted party from recusing themselves from the matter.
Yeah.
And it actually supposed to say request that the conflicted party recuse themselves, not from recusing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, no,
so
that's fine.
that's what,
Okay.
that, and then number 8 on the next page.
Yeah.
8A.
Mm-hmm.
Second sentence, it was the board shall direct the chair. It was SHA, just a small.
Okay. All right.
So,
all right. No, that's fine.
So that was it. And like I said, other than a couple of periods that weren't there and formatting, that was the only change for that. And like I said, I added the numbers, the page numbers to make sure they all lined up, and I think I changed the order of this right here to match what they were.
Yeah.
So just a little,
all right.
but
no,
nothing.
That's fine.
Nothing of substance. So.
Are you good? Did you already read that? You already read this, I'm sure you did. Probably 3 times, right?
So I make a motion to amend the town of Lebanon, Maine ethics policy as written.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
So is that the one we're gonna sign?
So I'll sign this one.
Way at the back, Paul. I think it's the last page.
Good girl.
I'm just trying to help. This one might be a little longer.
And then if you notice the last one here, use of equipment and vehicles.
Yes.
So we added that in there. So I mean, again, I don't really have a marked up copy on this one just because I made a few changes.
Okay, so that's the good copy.
So that's that.
Don't lose it.
Yeah, I'll put this on her desk. Actually, let me just motion made at 7:17 motion. All in favor, obviously, because we signed it.
I know, I wish I had mine that we had marked up, and I'd know. Okay.
Well, there's been a few revisions, so
Okay.
that's why it's
Yeah.
So if I kind of go through here, I can tell you mostly what.
Okay.
Again, if it was just small little words that might have
Okay.
changed, but as far as substance, we'll go through it, so nothing in the preamble.
No.
Employment, section, which is Article 2, nothing.
Okay.
Equal opportunity employer, nothing, because that's all,
Yeah.
the only thing that changes is actually the bottom, the article policy on harassment.
Mhm.
That, the numbers changed because the contents changed.
Yeah.
So that was it. Types of appointments, that didn't change.
Okay.
So again, 35 hours is still the threshold. Article 5, conduct of discipline, that didn't change, I don't believe at all.
Okay, yeah.
Article 6, confidentiality and conflicts of interests.
Didn't she?
So this one she added?
Wasn't this?
No, it's a political one. It's in the another section that's political, which
Okay.
may be what you're thinking of. Yeah, no, this is basically the same. And we obviously have our own conflicts of interest policy anyways. So that part's done. 7, which is work week overtime. If anything, there was clarification about regular employees, that kind of stuff. We did that in a few spots. Maybe not on this one. No, I don't think actually we did it in this one. Attendance, we didn't change.
Yep, okay, yep.
Performance evaluations, we didn't change, although it's my hope that we're actually gonna do them. I'm working on that, but that didn't change. This safety one here didn't change. We have another one that was added in. Drugs and alcohol and smoking didn't change. So that's all the same.
She added marijuana though, didn't you? Yes.
Did she have the marijuana?
Yeah, medical or recreational marijuana.
Yep,
So
that's right.
Yep.
Yep. Good catch. Yep, that's right. Yep. Workplace violence, I think, is new, if I remember correctly. Was that new?
Well, yeah, I think so.
I think or she changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think. Because it was possession of weapons concealed or otherwise on town property and stuff. I think that was fairly new. Off-duty misconduct, I don't think was really changed. Holidays weren't changed. The only thing that, again,
it went to 10 instead of 8, right? Wasn't 8?
well, we did 8, but we did 10, but we also did a regular, for office employees, or regular work days to be considered 10. So we tried to make that distinction rather than everybody's at 10, because there's a lot of people that might be 8.
Yeah.
So we did that in a few spots. So this is certainly one of those areas we did. And then the next section, vacation, personal sick days, we did that as well. And then we also did, in that, we did it to accrue on the town's fiscal year, July 1.
Yeah.
So we changed it versus
so he'll have to make that.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So we're doing that all based on, starting July 1st. And it's a prorated if they start before, if they, as a new employee, they start before that. Again, personal sick days was the same thing, we just, so the accrual. Travel expenses, we went with the IRS standard for mileage.
I just wanna.
So which is that 54 or?
Yeah, 50, cause I had to do it for something else, and I copied it, yeah.
So before it was a set rate, now we're just staying with the IRS
well, that
standard.
makes it easier.
So that's the only change we did there. Article
The safety shoes.
17, safety shoes, that's brand new. So that's to reimburse up to 75 every other year. For any non-seasonal regular employee. Insurance benefits stayed the same.
Mhm.
Actually, there was a thing that there was a cafeteria plan that we took out because we don't have it and it had been in here and it never should have been in here. So we deleted that out of it. Leaves of absence didn't change. Then we added this whole federal medical
right.
leave act, yep. So that whole section was added in.
Holy mackerel.
Because it's the law.
Yeah.
So,
Grievance.
grievance didn't change. Political activity, I believe that one was new. So basically, town employees who run for and are elected to the select board are deemed to have voluntarily resigned from their employment position with the town. So. Article 22 resignation is no different. I think she revamped the policy on harassment.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's got the sexual harassment and no retaliation and all that kind of stuff. So that's all kind of revamped by
the law.
And a lot of that's all boilerplate, right? So that's pretty simple. Personnel files nothing was done with that. Town information systems, nothing was done with that. Social media policy was pretty much the same, I believe. Because she had looked at it. Article 7, was that 27? Anti-nepotism, that's brand new.
Okay.
There's a general practice of the town that family members, spouse, children, siblings, parents, grandparents, stepchildren, in-laws, or other persons who live in the same household with an employee of an employee will not be considered for employment within the same department where one of the persons may directly or indirectly supervise the other. So, except we always have, however, the town reserves the right to make an exception to this practice. So it does leave us an out. Which is important in small towns because
absolutely.
if you don't have qualified people and but hopefully it's but it does talk about the supervisory and expectations and that kind of stuff. So I think that's important. And then compensation didn't change. And then Article 29, which is use of equipment and vehicles, so that's brand new.
Well, then it just covers what
and that's basically covers for when we have with our vehicle, because we now have a town vehicle.
Yeah.
And it kind of covers the fire department, although the fire department has their own. You know what I'm saying? And there's Department of Labor rules and all that kind of stuff, anyways. And that's pretty much it. And then again, you got the last page, which is 31, which is the acknowledgement page. So.
Yep.
You guys good with it?
Yeah.
I make a motion to amend the personal policy of the town of Lebanon, effective today.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
So now we're gonna pass this one to everybody,
Right, and then that will be, let's see, it's 7:24, close enough. We also have to, that'll lead me into, the next topic, which is sexual harassment training. One of the things, and I have her, it must have been another one, I don't have it. But basically, yeah, we're supposed to be holding it, we're not by law. There's a part about personnel policy, there's notice about it. So we have to send that out, and we should be giving this to people on an annual basis. Just send them in a PDF if they have an email, just so they don't have to burn a bunch of copies. Just PDF it, if they want a hard copy, obviously they can get one. This one, cause it's brand new, we'll get to everybody so everybody gets it. And so notice will be given now, we're gonna do it right around the first of the year. But then you have to actually hold the training, and there's 2 different trainings for regular people, so to speak, and supervisors, managers.
Okay.
Cause it's just a different level. There's probably a bunch of ways we can do it. There's an online version. I don't know, I'm still waiting to find out about fire department. There's, the EMTs have their own training to get certified. They have to go through sexual harassment training, so that may very well satisfy the requirements. So what we're talking about isn't really, may not have to be done by the fire department. So they may already be covered by what they're doing. But transfer station, roads, here, you know,
Now,
everybody in this.
roads, would that really only mean like Tommy and his worker?
And his worker, yeah, because
That's okay.
subcontractors know.
No, okay.
Yeah, so because they're not employees, it's employees, so.
Okay.
You know, and us, and you know, because we're employees as well as officials. So it's an online version that we can get through Bernstein Shore. They do it, it's an annual fee to do that, and it keeps track. And it's an online, they have to go online, they have to watch the video, there's little questions they have to fill out, so they can't just let it play in the background. It'll keep track, so they have to go all the way to the end.
How long is that?
I think that's about an hour.
Okay.
They gotta sit through.
Okay.
And then there is a supervisory one. The supervisory online one is all of what the employee would get, as well as then more stuff on top of that. To me, I think it makes, and doing it every year, you're supposed to do it when a new employee comes and then the notice, but doing it every year really helps prevent you, if we get a claim and the, you know, I don't know who it is, it's the, not the ethics commission, but when they come down, if she had told me, but when they come down, they wanna see what kind of training you've done. You know, the fact that you do it every year really makes you look good. That you're really, you know, you're doing your part to make sure people are trained properly, so it's, so for what I would suggest is on the supervisory level, that we bring Ann in to do it face to face. Because the point is that way you can ask questions.
Right.
That way you can get, you're right there, you have questions, plus any supervisor, if they have an issue, they know who Ann is. It's a good, you know, it's not everybody, it's just, you know, it would obviously be us. It would probably be Jordan. Supervisory, it would be, because it's us, Jenny would probably get included just because she's keeping minutes like a meeting. Dale, probably Tommy, and the chief, and maybe the assistant chief, or if he has a captain that's doing a lot of HR kind of stuff for him. Those are kind of the people that probably would need to, you know, if for some reason somebody can't make it for an extenuating circumstance, I don't want to make it an easy out.
No.
We have the online version they could take to cover us. But so the online is $450 a year for the online training stuff. This year she's willing to let us do the whole thing as well as her coming down for $650, including the online. Which means we're only paying $200 for her to come down and give an hour and a half of training. Which is pretty damn cheap.
I agree.
So it's worth a lot more. You know, but I would still think, I mean, again, our legal, we have enough, I think it's an important thing to do. And even if fire and rescue, having those guys come here to do that, because that's where a lot of the employees are, I think that's important for them on the supervisory level to have our training, even if they're taking their own through, I think, You know, knowing how, I think that serves the town well for lawsuits and all sorts of crap. So, you know, and so we have, this year, we have plenty of money in the legal, so it's kind of legal, so we can take it out of the legal budget. So,
Yeah.
you guys
You agree?
You guys good with that? Yeah. Then I'll, we gotta figure out a time to do that. You know, and again, we might, if we do this every year, we may tell employees, hey, you have the month of January to get it done. And then they have to get through the online thing sometime in January, so that's easy.
So they can like log on.
It's very expensive if you screw up.
Yep, oh, exactly, that's why it's a little bit of money up front.
I know.
Saves you.
I know a woman that, they were harassing her.
Yeah.
One guy was, and you know she couldn't get to work, she was sick.
Yeah.
When the lawyer got done with Dextron, she felt much better.
Yeah. No, it's true.
No, I mean, it's just,
it's true, and it's the world we live in.
This day and age right now, it's everywhere right now,
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can, you know, obviously it's in the middle of January now, we can give them to the middle of February to get it done. We'll send directions on how to log in. The supervisory, I'd say we can try to push that out towards like the end of February, we'll get maybe the new chief in. Cause that way we'll cover that training for him as well. So we have a lot on our plate right now.
We do.
So to try to get all the supervisors in a room together is just a little bit tough. I think we can push it out a little bit longer. That'll work.
Yeah.
So it's that.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Do you want a motion?
I don't know. No, I'll schedule it. No, just. There, it's done. Whipping through stuff. See, it's only 7:35. I told you I had plenty of stuff to keep us busy. Personal policy, that's done. Yeah, the chief, the other reason for Harmon is because chief is gonna probably be pulling back on some of his hours here shortly because Natick just promoted internally for their chief because their chief had to resign. So internally, they did promote internally, which means there's now an opening that there's a very good chance our chief is going to get promoted into that position, and that position is closer to a 4-day-a-week down there, 3 days here, 4 days down there during the day.
Yeah.
So he's got to find a place to live down there, and so you know, so when that starts happening, you know, we'll probably cut back his pay a little bit more, just because he's not, you know, he's not here as much.
If he has to, if we lose him, why couldn't we get Eric to cover till we get a new chief?
Well, we're not going to lose him.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not. We won't. So he'll be here for 3 days, whether he's on duty, whether he's at the station or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, he's not on a call 24 hours a day when he's down there. So I mean, just like he does now when he's down there, he's checking in.
Yeah.
He's on email. He's on text. He can check in. So he's a good advisor to the guys. So that, you know, the couple of captains can handle it. And the area chiefs already know because we could get a fire when he's in Natick.
Yeah.
So the area chiefs already understand the situation.
Yep.
So I don't think it's a big deal. And again, so he's talking probably towards the end of the month. So you're talking a couple of weeks to a month at the most.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I'd rather do that than bring somebody new in. And I know he's not new, but he's new to the crew. So instead of having to deal
he's
with.
laid up right now anyway.
Huh?
I said he's laid up right now anyway.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he had his foot done or something.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so he's laid right up.
Yeah, again, it's nothing against him. It's just less disruption for them. So that's that. We need to do the chief interview questions. So that's on my list. I know. We gotta get that done.
I know. I was just
sexual harassment training, I did that. And I wanted to kind of get a timeline together for the referendum questions, just so that we know when we have to get things done, I just kind of want to work it backwards.
it's probably, those are my questions.
Yeah,
Where are yours?
I like to have deadlines so I know where I'm going toward before they creep up on me. I mean, we don't have to do it tonight, but I just,
Mhm.
that's probably more your.
Yeah,
you-
I mean,
you
I
know-
think it's
you
up
know
there.
that- You know that,
I mean, and yeah, we'll, I'll.
You know what I'm
do
saying?
that,
I
yes,
just-
absolutely.
so, interview questions, I guess. You guys have anything before we do?
Yeah, I
that?
do,
Yeah,
but,
go.
What about the sheriff thing? What do we?
You saw the email I sent out on a Saturday. Did I CC you guys? I'm pretty sure I.
Would you send?
To the commander of the.
Oh
state
yeah,
police?
yeah. Well, I just.
I haven't had a response.
I have a thought, just to do due diligence, I'm trying to, what if we talk to, because the more I think about it, I'm like, 20%. I mean, I'm like, anyway, what if we talk to a town that has one and just see, like the selectmen say in Acton, I think they're the only ones, and just see how it works for them and get somebody who's already doing it, their thoughts and how it works for them or whatever, just to do due diligence that we're, that's all I was thinking about, to expand everything. And so we're doing, I know what we heard, but I'm like, I'm thinking about the 20%. 20%, so he's only here 20% of the time.
It's not a good deal.
But think about it. What does he mean? 20% of 24 hours?
Yeah,
Does he?
it's 20% of if you do 24 hours a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
So literally, and if you do, so you go 24 times 7 is 168 hours in a week.
Okay.
So if you take 40 divided by 168 is 23%.
Okay. So
it's a little bit less
So
because they got training, they got all sorts of stuff they got to do.
But I just didn't know if we should, in being fair, is what I'm just thinking, that should we talk to Acton and just because they've been doing this, just say, okay, how does this work for you? What does he do? I know that we choose the hours. I mean, it doesn't mean he's going to be here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We decide the hours. I get that, the 40 hours and all that, but I just didn't know if we should do that, just to be in all fairness that's all I'm saying. That it's just, I know, I'm just saying.
So I'm turning my face so they can see my expression. While I am not opposed to that, I kind of feel like it's a waste of time because we're getting 60% right now with the state police.
Right. Well, I'm just thinking.
So even if and Acton has 1 or 2, depending on whatever I heard, which is only 40%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the best thing since sliced bread, but am I still going to give it up to get rid of?
No, that's not. I just meant I was just thinking in doing our due diligence.
Do we go there? Do we bring them here? Do we?
No, I would suggest we go there.
How do we do our due diligence?
I just meant in all fairness. I mean, instead of just.
Do you want to reach out to them?
I will.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, instead of just listening, okay, we did our little fact-finding thing, and I think in fact-finding that we should probably go one step further and just talk to another town who's already done it.
Okay.
So maybe they could know, I don't know. I'm just saying in order to be fair to our process. That's all I'm saying.
I'm game.
It doesn't hurt to listen, and maybe they didn't express something that maybe we should have, I mean, that's all I'm saying, in all fairness. That's all I'm saying.
Road trip.
Well, I just think, in all fairness, to really do it all.
No, that's fine.
No,
you don't.
I'm just
saying. In all fairness, you don't have to say anything. All
right. Anyway, I just thought it would be a nice thought.
That's fine. Set it up with Acton.
I will. I'll see what they can do, or if one of them can meet, or we can go up there and just. I just thought, in fairness, and,
that's fine.
Just because.
Who are we trying to be fair to?
The residents that we're really investigating.
Or the sheriffs.
Oh, no, no. I just meant in all fairness to the residents, because that's who I'm representing.
You know what? I'll tell you what's dangerous about that sheriff.
Remember the things on. Just saying, before you go there.
That was a good move on your part.
Well, I just am trying to help, because I know sometimes we get thinking and then we're like, oh my goodness, that's not really how we meant it, but it happened. Okay,
Paul's gonna be quiet now.
yeah, sorry. Hey, I hear you, it's clear as mud, right?
It's just, sometimes the people in this town vote for or against something because of someone else.
Yeah, I hear you.
Supposing
hey,
they
I know
vote for
that.
the sheriff, we're stuck with it because
I hear you. I know, we were very divided when we voted the time when we had the sheriff and the state police. The town was very divided in what they wanted, you know, so that.
I told you what Bruce said.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, so anyway, I just thought that we need to not just,
I'm good.
you know, okay.
Do you have anything before we jump into interview? Is that all we have left to do tonight, you think?
I guess so, as far as I know, I got stuff everywhere.
No, I'm all right.
Do you have any questions? No?
No,
None that you can say.
I just love it.
My guess is it will be easier, since it's at the end of the night, it will be easier probably if we go into executive session, cause then we can,
Yeah, that's
well, then
true.
we can actually read them if we have to or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. We don't wanna tip our hand.
All our interview questions to be,
That's true.
all our candidates are watching the video,
You
taking
say,
notes.
oh, I'll be ready for them.
So,
Yeah.
that way we don't have to be cryptic about, you
Yeah.
know, hey, you know, this one, so. All right, I'll make a motion to go into, executive session per 1 MRSA 4056F.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Unplug it. I'm gonna run to the ladies' room while we're doing that.
4056F exec at 7:45.